Welcome everybody. This is going to be a presentation on color theory painting. So today what we're going to do is this. I'm going to kind of fast forward a little bit. I'll review a little bit as well. But I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some color mixing, color blending for our color theory page that we're going to be putting in our sketchbook. So if you remember from our presentation, we had you go ahead and we had you find a flower, crop it down to the right size. Okay, so this is the one I did. I went ahead and drew it on here. You burnished the back. You put it in your sketchbook page, traced it out 4 times. Keep it light. You don't need it terribly dark. And it's not a bad idea also to have a colored image of the one you have. Now, unfortunately, I have to use my phone here, otherwise I'd be using my computer. But I do have it in the colored image, so I can actually take that, use those colors to kind of match up. Now, the 4 colors we had one of them was going to be analogous. Second one's going to be another analogous, a different branch of colors, complementary colors, and then finally cool and warm. I think we said that the foreground, the flower shape or nature shape needs to be warm. The backgrounds will be cool. Now, for analogous, use the color wheels in the class. All right, we talked a little bit about that. They're basically neighbors of colors that you have on the color wheel. This is a color wheel I found in a book here. You know, your analogous colors, if you went with yellow, you know, they would be a little bit from lime green, maybe over here to kind of an orangish red. All right, you typically have about anywhere from 4 to 5 colors that you're working with. But use those colors and stick to that. That's going to be really kind of tricky to work with and hard to kind of stick with because you want to kind of branch out and use some other ones. So I went ahead and grabbed some of my paints. I got my primary colors. I did go ahead and add white. I think in some cases you are probably going to need a little bit of white to lighten things up. Stay away from black. We're not going to mess around with black. I got a couple of brushes here. You can use 1 or 2 is perfectly fine. Got my water, paper towel, all that stuff's here ready to go. So we went ahead, you guys, you did this analogous right here. This was one where I went ahead and I selected green. Okay, and you can see I've got a lot of green in through here, and then I went to and branched out to yellow and then also to blue and basically had all the other colors mixed in through here. Try to kind of capture a little bit of the lines that I have in here, maybe the streakiness, kind of the background is a little blurry, so I kind of blotched that in through there. You know, try to make it look halfway decent. Now for this next one, this next analogous color, I think what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go and choose purple, and I can go from red to blue on that. So if I'm going to go ahead and take this, going to go with purple, I could actually kind of stick very close to the color that I have for the petals here. But I'm going to lighten them up a little bit too, so I'm going to add a little bit of white here. Now, mixing purple is kind of a trick. Typically is maybe a little bit more red than you would blue. All right, I'm going to go ahead and kind of add a little bit more white here. I'm going to lighten this up quite a bit here. And when you look at this, you guys, if you got kind of a darker color, I'm going to go in here, maybe get some of these darker areas to begin with. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Oh, shoot. One thing I forgot to mention is this. Anytime you paint, do your background first. All right, this is something, gosh darn it all, Mr. Carlson, you got to know these things. Got to be on the ball here. So I've got my analogous colors here. My background is kind of a darker color. Got some light areas in here. I'm going to go ahead and show you kind of the black and white. All right, and so what I want to do is this. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to mix up a little bit of a darker purple. So I'm going to take my straight up blue. I'm going to go ahead and kind of add a little bit of this red. Ooh, that's a nice dark purple. So I'm going to go in here, and it's kind of blotchy. So I'm going to take this brush, just kind of blotch in here. Look at how nice and dark that is. All right, that is a nice dark purple. That's why you don't need black. All right. Use these purples, use these blues, they work out exceptionally well, okay? I'm gonna fill this in. Big reason why you do your background is you can always paint your foreground. That's your main focus on top of that background. So if your background kind of comes up and you kind of want it to almost touch, even maybe go over in certain cases, into your petals, into the center part of your flower, that's perfectly fine. But that way too, you don't have any of the white paper showing, it looks a little bit nicer, and it just works out really good. All right, so let's go. I'm gonna take a little bit more of kind of this lighter purple here. So maybe kind of go more of a magenta kind of color here. Kind of add those in through here. Ooh, that's nice. That kind of stands out really nice, okay? I'm just going to go and kind of dab it on, okay? Just kind of practicing a brush stroke technique. We're going to go over these a little bit later as well. We actually have a video I actually put out there for you on YouTube if you want to check that out. But we're going to actually do that in class, so you don't have to worry about that. There's my shameless plug to kind of let you guys know what we're going to be doing here in the near future. All right, so there you go. So you can kind of see I've got a little bit of the darker kind of colors in here. I got some of the lighter purples. Looks pretty nice. And you want to get these other areas too. All right, hold on. I'm going to kind of touch up a little bit along the side here as well. Let's see over here. Yeah, this is a little bit darker right through here. This is pretty much all dark. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of fill this in through here. All right, we got that. And then down through here as well. And this kind of helps you maybe kind of monitor how light these petals need to be. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of fill this in. And I think that's pretty much it as far as what I have for background. Ooh, maybe a little bit over here. Oh, shoot. I do have a little bit over here. So I'm going to grab a little bit more of this red, kind of dab this in through here. There we go. Now, once you get that done, then I can go ahead and I can start using some of my other colors that I have. So, you know what? I think I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit more of this red, add some more of this white. All right, really kind of lighten this up for the petals, okay? Because some of these areas are going to be pretty light. Now, this petal right here is a little bit darker on this side. Ooh, I like that color. All right, a little bit darker here. But then, as you get over to the side here, I'm going to take just some straight white. And the reason why I'm doing that is that sometimes the paint that's in your brush can kind of mix. Look at that. Ooh, that's nice. Can kind of mix in with the white. And you get almost kind of that natural feel that you'd almost have in the petal itself. All right, so we've got that. You know, that's not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and keep that. We're going to keep that as a kind of a nice little petal there. Now, the one underneath here, this is the one I started doing, which I should have waited till later. You know, it's getting a little bit dark back and through here. But then the tips of it, look at the tips of it are a little bit lighter. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of add a little bit more of my white here. So I'm going to add a little bit of white here. And what that does, too, if you notice this, you guys, it is a little bit lighter in the photo, but also, too, it helps make it stand out a little bit from my background. So it pops it a little bit more. So, you know, this is kind of a good start for my second analogous. I like kind of where it's going here and what's happening with this. Of course, I got a lot more work to do, but that's what we got for the two analogous. Now, the other two I think will hopefully be a little bit easier. Okay, but I want to go ahead. I really desperately want to do my complementary one. So my flower itself is kind of like this purplish color, almost like a purplish pink. All right, my background is kind of more of a green.
Ethan Smith, please report to the office. Ethan Smith.
All right, I apologize for the interruption. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and say, all right, opposite of kind of that purplish red, you know, that's gonna be, looking like purplish red, you know, that's gonna be almost like almost like a lime green. All right, maybe more of a yellow. I could even take maybe yellow. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of cheat a little bit. I'm gonna take yellow and say, yep, no, that coneflower, that's more of a purple color. We're gonna go ahead and take yellow. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna take some of my yellow. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in through here. Now, yellow is so light to begin with, so you really don't need probably too much white. Uh-oh, class, what did I forget to do again? Are you kidding me? I forgot to do the background again. God darn it, Mr. Carlson, you're kind of breaking all your rules here that you have for us. So anyway, green in the background, you guys, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and make it kind of a reddish color. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe do a little red and pink here for that. All right, compliments of what's going on here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of add this in through here. This is going to be my kind of my lighter sections that I have. Look, I'm just kind of blotching this on here to kind of give the illusion that it's a little bit more blurry in the background here too. That's kind of a nice technique for doing this, kind of blotching that on. And then, shucks, here we're going to kind of come up here a little bit more too. That looks great. All right, and then, you know, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of a darker color here. I'm going to go kind of a darker kind of purplish red here. There we go. Okay, so I don't have any black here, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of add a little blue to it, kind of create a little bit of a darker color there. That looks nice. Boom. Look at that. Very nice. Okay. You know, sometimes I do this too, and you can do this as long as you don't get carried away. If you wanted to soften your colors out a little bit more too, and sometimes the brush won't do it for you, sometimes it's not a bad idea even to kind of take your finger and just kind of dab it on here. Okay. Be careful though too. Honestly, don't be silly about it and get paint all over your hands. But look at that. Just by kind of dabbing that, I mean, that just softens it out that much more. I mean, that's kind of a nice little technique too. I really like that. All right, that works out good. So we're gonna go back now. Okay, I've got this area. Of course, I got a little more background to do, but because I don't want this video to be so long, I'm gonna go ahead and start kind of adding a little bit more here for my yellow on my petals. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of this white here, take a little bit of the more of the yellow there. All right, boy, it's a little bit lighter on this side. Ooh, that looks nice. Now, be careful of this too. Maybe this is what I was thinking. You know, yellow is one of these colors that picks up every other color here. So I gotta be careful not to get any of that red in my background. All right, and sometimes if colors don't cover very nice, sometimes I, ooh, geez, I don't know how they got that red in there. Sometimes use a little bit of white. Actually, that's not too bad. We'll go ahead and do that. All right, use a little bit of white, and that'll cover up a little bit more of the background. Yellow doesn't cover very well. That's one of my kind of, I guess, criticisms I'd have of the color yellow. No matter what paint you're working with, oil, tempera, acrylic, it's just not going to cover very nice. All right, so I'm going to put in my shadows. Now my shadows, ooh, I'm going to make these kind of a little bit of a lime green. Okay, I'm just going to kind of lightly put that in there. All right, oop, there I go, using my finger again, Mr. Carlson. All right, you know, sometimes it's not a bad idea, all right, to use that. All right, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to add a little bit more of another shadow. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, see, that yellow doesn't cover very good, but that's all right. We'll make it work. We're flexible. All right, I'm kind of add this in through here. And then I'm going to clean off my brush because I don't want any of that line there, but I want to get kind of a lighter yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit more white. Take a little bit of this right here, a little more white. Lighten that up quite a bit. Boom, we're going to add a little bit of this light yellow through here. Look at that. That is nice. Cool. Really paying attention. Guys, this is a study, all right? This is a study. So you make a mistake, you know what, you learn from it. You move on, all right? You get some things that turn out really great. Right? That's not bad. All right, these are really good. You know, and some things that maybe they didn't turn out great. You know, like the pedals here, I'm not really grooving on, but these I'm liking. I'm grooving on these big time. All right, you learn from it. All right. So anyway, that's complimentary. Okay, cool and warm. I don't know if I need to kind of demonstrate that, but keep this in mind. If I was going to do all warm colors for my flower, okay, those would be anything from the reds, the greens, maybe some people, I'm sorry, not greens, the reds, the yellows, maybe some lime green in there too works pretty good, but you want to keep that on the one half of the color wheel that is considered warm. Your cools are going to be your blues, your purples, your greens, okay, and that's what I do in the background. Paying attention to highlights, I should say value changes, where you have some colors a little bit lighter. That's why it's okay to use a little bit of white, and then darker areas too. And remember, if you want to darken something up, add a little bit of blue to it, all right? Especially blue to red to create that purple works exceptionally well, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, good luck. I hope this video helps you out. There's a lot going on here. If you have any questions and concerns, you can ask your instructors. We'll help you out. But we can't wait to see what you create with these paintings.